Frank,
Dynamite.
Frank, come on, man. Can I Be Frank is all
You
about
see me?
capturing real,
I can't see
authentic,
you.
unedited conversation.
Bottom left. Should have been,
Oh, yes.
how you doing?
Good, yeah.
Likewise.
Is the light okay? I can't see myself.
Yours is perfect. Yeah, mine. It's a bit bright there. It looks like those are open, don't they? They're windows.
Looks okay from here.
Looks okay,
Looks
does
okay
it?
from here. I was wondering if it was a bit dark because I usually shut my shutters because you've got the whole of my town wanting to kind of sell me socks and things.
Oh, you're on the street there, is it?
Well, not really, but there's lots of people who like to try and sell you things you really don't need. So.
Oh, you mean like those guys selling stuff like 3 socks for €1 or something like that, or 3 pairs?
Yeah.
Very good. So are you living in Spain?
Yep, I live in Spain. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of like that this is really short notice and that it's just happened, if you know what I mean. Sometimes when I have things in the diary and I kind of go, oh God, I don't know if I fancy that today, but it's kind of nice when it's spur of the moment.
Yeah, it's great. I had nothing planned today except for I'm just going to close Facebook so I don't get pinged.
Yeah, I'm going to turn off my phone.
Great.
I'm going to just put my phone on quiet. I don't ever write down questions or whatever. I don't have an interview style. I just go for it. I just jump in off the deep end and
It's always best.
yeah, I think so. And also I think with this sort of thing as well, you can't really, I mean, if you had a list of questions, it would be over in a minute, like really.
The questions are no longer really relevant. They're just sort of ideas, really. They're not really relevant.
No.
As if anything is relevant in this subject.
Yeah, it's very true. It's funny. I watched your latest YouTube, and at the start, I think you were not bitching, but about not, a little contribution here and there would be nice, people. And I was kind of amused because I did this this film. It was 0 and 1.
Yes.
It's like I think it is something like 55,000 views, and I probably have earned £100 from it.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I think it's because people think that this message is spiritual and therefore it should be given like some sort of unconditional mother or father or something, like it's owed.
Yeah.
But, people forget that, you have to spend time and money on things.
Well, I think it's the internet though too, or just,
Yes,
where the internet is just, you surely can get it somewhere for free. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's where we'll air, and I'm as bad as anybody, so downloading movies and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
So, and the ones that are in the cinema, but no, I was kind of amused by that. A little bit of give and take, I think you were saying, come on now, just a little bit.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Yeah, throw a few squids my way. Yeah. Yeah. So I've done one with Rebecca recently, and we chatted for an hour and a half about this and some.
Yeah.
I had a kind of half a thought about, there's, when you have a website and, there's a place you go to for chats or meetings, say for Lisa Lennon non-duality, there's almost it's implied that you know something. That's what,
Yeah.
when somebody has a website in this world we live in, you must know something.
Yeah, that's the implication. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
can't be
In
avoided
fact,
almost.
it's the opposite. It's the absolute other end. There isn't anyone to know anything.
Hmm.
Who would know? Who would
Yes.
know that there's the body sitting at a table? What is there to know about that? So really, it's the opposite. It's always the opposite of what the apparent separate person thinks.
Yeah. I think that is the way the world works, though. There has to be a purpose for a discussion. Even, say me right now, maybe I have a half of a faint purpose. I don't really have a purpose, but maybe I have a vague, but that I'll uncover this. But you know what I mean? Because I live in the world of almost everything has a purpose, or an agenda, even if it's subtle.
Yeah,
Everybody and everything has to have a reason, whereas this sort of thing just doesn't, and plainly, painfully, beautifully doesn't have. From what it doesn't have any agenda or any purpose, any reason.
yeah, that's right. And even the apparent person having a purpose has no purpose. It's no different, actually.
Mm.
It's the same. It's the same expression, but seen from the apparent separation, it looks like the story runs. I have a purpose, but even that story has no purpose. It's just a story running in the end.
Mm.
Yeah, a story that's deeply believed.
Yeah, but yet it's not. The difference, or if there is a difference, it is. It's not just, obviously there's people out there talk about, you need to get rid of the belief, but it's not a belief. It's psychosomatic happening.
It is psychosomatic. You can almost say it's a bit like having a condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it isn't anybody. It's like a psychosomatic condition that believes itself to be true.
Mm.
And when that's kind of seen or revealed to nothing, from nothing, it's just seen that all that was just never true, wasn't real.
And it's funny, the amount of times you hear, and it's kind of, you hear, well, when the self falls away, it's nothing, there's nobody left to claim their own absence, and there's nobody left. So all there is what's happening, right? And then you hear that, and of course, and I see it constantly, people go, well, but you've still got it though. And then the answer is normally, no, I don't have anything. That's the difference. You have something. And, but still, because of the way we work, it's still, for me, it's still that sense of, sorry, bear with me now for a second, actually, because Kenneth Madden talks on this sort of stuff from time to time, but he put a little video up of, he was up in the mountains, he was after running in the mountains, and he just said, this is it. It's just, he was sweating, and he was going heart beating, wind on face, this is it. And it was kind of, when I was listening to him, it was so obvious that the enjoyment was almost, it was so obvious that it wasn't somebody enjoying that. It was, which sounds that it was just that was the freedom. The freedom was just him talking, or just the talking itself was the freedom. That's what the joy was that there's no longer this, there's just no longer this hijacking of the body. You know what I mean?
There's no one left to claim it.
Yeah.
It's like an enjoyment when it's there of this. I mean, this is it. This, what is apparently happening here, is it, and there can be an enjoyment of that, but it's not claimed by the person of having or not having. It's just enjoyment. What the person does, it claims it as I've got it or I haven't got it, or I'm there or I'm not there, and now I have to keep it, and oh no, I've lost it. It always, that's how the person lives. It lives in positioning and claiming of what's mine, what's not mine, where I am.
Yeah. But you could say, like, personally, it feels like almost that occurrence of, you know, it's, oh, I've got it and I haven't got it, or it's almost that the survival of always trying to kind of claim in some way, shape or form, trying to be there in this, trying to squeeze through the eye of the needle somehow or other.
Yeah.
And that's the person. And it's kind of, that is maybe that's what non-duality exposes, the insanity of the seeker. You know, when it's presented plainly with nothing.
Yeah, because it's not true. None of it's true. It just lives in this dream of position. I'm here, that's there, and I'm going to claim it all as having got something or not got something. That's how it lives. It lives like that. It's either like that or it's not. It's either there or it's not. You know, you can't have a halfway there, because there's no there in the end. There's only what's happening. There's no there. It never arrives. Like this situation that's apparently happening never arrived. You'd have to go into a story that this arrived somehow, but it didn't, because it's always been what is this. It's always been this. So that's why this so-called that people think that Lisa here is a no me. Well, that's not true. There's just no me anyway. None of it's real. So nothing ever arrives in that way. You never arrive at a point where there's no me, because no one ever arrives there. The whole thing of somebody is not true. It's not real. So the whole kind of construct of that, as you say, psychosomatic condition just totally just evaporates, like the dream that it is.
Two thoughts coming to my mind was that happens obviously despite all the efforts of the person trying to get it. That untanglement happens.
Yes, because it's not happening to anybody. Even the sense of self is not happening to the sense of self. There's nobody doing the me. There's just as much somebody doing the me as there is somebody doing the cloud or the water or the space, the air. Nobody's doing any of that. So there isn't even the person doing the person. The person claims I'm doing it and I can get out of it. But it's not in control. There's nobody in control of that. So there's no way that anything can be done about it, because really this whole field of whatever you want to call it, this, everything, nothing, is the appearance of separation. So there isn't actually anything separate in it. There's just this, which is whole, appearing as not whole.
What is this, like? What the fuck is this then?
Cruel joke.
But what is this then? What?
Oh, this.
Yeah, what is this?
Nothing can be said about that. It's sitting at a table speaking with Frank. And there's no need to know, there's nobody who needs to know that, what that is. It's a complete mystery.
But obviously, I was talking to Rebecca about this. There's obviously that feeling of, must be just so blatantly the case. It must be such a bang in the head that it just, of course it's this, you know, because I see that a lot where it's kind of, it's such a, it's not like it's a million, when it is seen, it must be like a box in the face then. It's not like just, you know, an experience or something, you know, something subtle that comes and goes or whatever. It must be self-evident then. It doesn't require any explanation, does it?
It's absolutely self-evident, and you do wonder why you didn't see it before.
You do wonder why you didn't see. What do you mean by that? You do wonder why
You do wonder like how it was missed. You wonder like, well, how was it missed? But I understand how it was missed, because there's a searching for it, and that misses it. It is this appearing as searching for it, but it's missed because it's just the obviousness of what is apparently happening becomes obvious, present. It's just this, it's sitting at a table speaking. When there's nothing looking for it, it's really obvious. That's why a lot of people laugh when they have that kind of glimpse. Like, oh my God, of course. Of course.
But there must be then, is it the self, it must be some sort of remembrance or recognition or something.
It's an absolute recognition. But it's not the dream of the person that recognizes it. It's just recognition just happens. Like everything else that apparently happens.
And so like, is what the fuck is it though? Like what is so if it's not made up of loads of separate individuals in time and space on a rock floating in the universe, it's aliveness happening, but that's not even so.
Well, we put words to it, but they're absolutely a failed attempt.
Okay.
Really, the best you can do is just say there's a room apparently happening. There's talking apparently happening. It's a bit like, you know, for years and years you've been trying to like discover what rain is, and you like, you know, you stood in the rain, you're looking for the reason for the rain and all these things you're looking for, and then suddenly it's just like, oh, it's just raining. It's just raining. It's just room. It was never anything else. It was never some sort of amazing enlightenment where I'm now knowledgeable about everything. Yeah. People ask me all sorts of mad questions about things that they think I know.
Yeah. But then so obviously whatever, there is a recognition then that wall and chair and everything is the one thing. Is that it? Is that it must be a recognition of home or not home, or just this is what I am? Is there even a sense of this is what I am? No, or not? This I'm everything.
There's no I am. There's no I am. No, there's just sitting in a room apparently happening, and it was always this. Whether it's a room or a bed or an outside or a shop, whatever's apparently happening is actually what the seeker is looking for, but can't find it because it's trying to find it as a thing. It separates it into something that I will gain and I know. The recognition is, it's just already here. It's already here. But the recognition is only there when it's there. Otherwise, it's just life going on as normal without looking for it. Just functioning, happening, tea, bed, movie, whatever.
So there's no more, there's no trying to, when the self falls away, there's no trying to figure out what this is or what's happening.
No.
Because it's
self-evident. There's no one to want to figure that out.
Nobody knows it.
No. There is no body.
Yeah. There is no body, Frank. There is no body. Sorry.
Yeah, so when there's no body, what could figure it out?
Yeah. And so
There's nothing to figure out in the end. There's nothing to figure out.
being a person, then you say to yourself, right, well, that needs to fall away. I need to fall away for it to be seen. But when that happens, there's nothing left like to see it. It's like Tony Parsons saying something about winning the lottery and nobody being there to collect the winnings. It should be unfortunate.
Yeah. There's no one there to like actually have gained anything or lost anything. There's no gaining or losing.
Yeah. Do you know what I like about this message or whatever this thing is? Because like only a really poor man with nothing would not even claim their own absence, would talk about this, man or woman. This, you know what I mean? But no, because there's so little on offer, somebody would rarely try to. It's why this message is so rare in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like a rich person will have loads of things on offer, loads of apparent things on offer, but when it's a poor message. Do you know what I mean by poor? By that, like
yes,
and that's maybe the freedom of it, that it's in a way it's so obvious that there's just nothing for you in it, but yet you're still here, like Frank. I'm still here, you know. It's still drawn to it, you know. It's interesting. Apparently, yeah, fucking word.
I know.
Oh, the apparent is the killer. You're going on. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Apparently, yeah.
Yeah. There's the idea that Frank's still here listening to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank is still here. Frank's doing a podcast now, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's see, kind of, it's the recognition that it's not like from every perspective. I should be saying this is a load of bullshit, Lisa, but obviously I recognize it, or I sense it, I feel it, I can. But the words or knowing is almost, it is like trying to satiate your thirst with a cup with no water, so you can understand this, but you're still thirsty, if you know what I mean. You still have that, you're not satisfied, and then so knowledge or it's just so empty almost to kind of go, oh, I know about non-duality. Really? Non-duality is just absolutely not a thing. So good luck with that. Enjoy the idea of not being there or knowing about that. You know what I mean? It's knowledge is empty. It's so empty. Yeah. Obviously, it evaporated at one point. This idea of the seeking stopped.
Yes.
Over there. You know what I mean? With Lisa, it stopped. Lisa stopped. And then everything just continued. But obviously there must have been, was there a dead point? A dying point? Was there a last breath?
Yeah. But it happened when the body was asleep.
Did it? I really, that's, if I was ever going to die, I want to die in my deep sleep. That's what I've always said, that. Can I die in my deep sleep? Instead of loads of people around me feeling sorry for me. Yeah. So you died in deep sleep, did you? You just never came back to life in the morning time.
The body I just woke up and it just wasn't there anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to go, all the same, isn't it? No
I think it would be the same if the body was awake or asleep. It doesn't really matter. It's just not there anymore.
Yeah.
It's not as if somebody died. I mean, in the apparent process of coming and going and coming and going, the me condition being there and not being there. There is a sense of something going, but when it's gone, it's like it was never there, and nothing was ever there. Nothing ever did. Nothing was ever. Nothing ever happened. Yeah.
Nothing ever happened.
No. There was no one for anything to happen to. Everything that has apparently happened is this. It's always this. Even the whole memory of apparently waking up and being confused is this. It's always here.
And would you say
Whatever that means.
Being confused, what did you mean by that? So you woke up that morning and being confused, is it? Or what?
Yes, there was confusion, yeah. I knew something had happened, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I had to call Tony.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And can you remember what you said? It's a matter of interest. What's the matter?
Something about, I'm not sure if I'm in limbo, if my body died yesterday under a bus.
Okay.
It was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's out there. Yeah.
The brain couldn't kind of handle it. Yeah. Wasn't sure if the body, if something had died and this was some sort of other realm. All sounds a bit mad. It was a bit mad, actually. Yeah. Yeah, but the brain is so used to that kind of condition of being someone, going somewhere, and all being in this apparent, appearance of time, which is all assumption and speculation. So, the brain and everything lives in that speculation of somebody who's come from somewhere and is going somewhere. And when that whole speculation completely just disappears, everything's just like, everything comes to a dead stop.
Yeah, that's interesting, because you're almost like, it's almost like you have to hold the whole thing together, like Earth and time and 2018 and everything. Yeah. Almost all of this together. Yeah, this is reality. This is life. I'm alive here, and this is in a world, and this is, so that just is free, and all that's left is what's happening.
All that's left is absolutely not knowing, or nobody to not know even. There's nothing left. There's nothing. There's just nothing. There's just what seems to be happening. So all those packaged up assumptions and ideas of time and my life and my relationships and my freedom and my this and my that is all like, it's a world. It's like a separate world, even though it's still what is apparently happening, but you can't see it from in that world. That world is like everything to the person. It's really true. And then that just disappears, and it's seen that none of it was real.
Yeah. The thing of, and nothing ever happened and nothing ever is happening. I was just thinking something I'd be saying to Kenneth something, and I'd say to him, well, I was in Italy, blah, blah, my holidays and blah, blah. And then I go to him, well, should that never happen though? Did it, Kenneth? And he goes, no, it didn't happen.
No.
And so, is it, and I kind of go, yeah, fuck you. And I move on, and you see a party wants to kind of go, well, it did happen, and it just, that also feels a little bit not true to start going, no, well, it definitely, it definitely did. But but there's a sense of a puff of smoke then, is there? Is it, like when you say nothing happened, there's still a gust of wind of it. Is it? Or is there even a trace, a sniff of it? No? Of anything happening? Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
No.
It's just no. It's just. It's just what's happening. It's just this. It's just this.
Yeah.
I mean, can you find anything happening? Really? Can you find anything at all? I mean, can you find anything?
Coffee. They can take everything.
But have you found it? Is it found?
No, probably not. I don't know. Well, I have it here anyway.
Yeah, exactly. The whole idea of finding it is nonsense.
It's incomprehensible that for something that operates in a time and space. Again, I can almost see it, or sense this, this.
Yes.
The timelessness thingy.
Yes, you can sense it because it's the case. That's why it's like people say it's like it's obvious. You're recognizing it because it's the case. It really is just what's happening. That's all there ever is. And that is really obvious. But within that also there can be that contracted sense that can't help but look for it because that's how it operates. That's its operational function, is to seek and to become whole.
Yeah.
Whether it's through a new car, a new job, a new lover, or freedom.
That's it. That's its purpose in life.
That's all it can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And even in this, that's the kind of at its very best, we'll say, if that's a thing, but this sort of communication exposes the insanity of that crazy person, because all that crazy purpose-filled human that is striving, and they're presented with nothing when it's, let's just say, when it's a certain way, when it's clear like water. Do you know what I mean by that? It's not muddied and there's a little bit of juice in it to get the person interested. Or it's not wine or beer or champagne in some instances, and you can pay 10 grand for those, I'm sure, if you wanted to. The communications.
Yes.
But when it's presented as this, it exposes that movement of, when you talked about, that's what the person does, they just to seek. And when they're presented with non-duality, or whatever the fuck it is, this sort of nothing message, you can hear that there's nothing to get, and yet some part of you can't help but be attracted to the freedom, maybe not the free, or but one part of me might be the curiosity. There must be something though. Hold on a second though. It's a different type of nothing. It's a nicer type. It's not just nothing. Don't tell me it's just nothing. To the point of when it's, you can hear it. It's just something about it then that draws you back. Well, it's drawn me back anyway.
Yeah, and that all happens for no purpose and no reason.
Yeah.
There's nobody here who's trying to get anybody to see something.
Mm.
Yeah. Or cares. There can be a delight. There can be a delight when, another human goes, oh yeah, oh my God, and it's just laughing, or something, sometimes a weeping, or, but it's not for any, there's nobody doing any of this. This is the absolute expression of life or nothing or wherever, no words can touch it. Everything is always landing at once, not in time. And every single nuance of it is the one expression without reason or purpose. Or, yeah, purpose assumes going somewhere. Yeah, without purpose. So in that way, for the person, it's utterly useless and utterly hopeless.
Yeah. See, you can't but help but even the idea of, oh, am I getting, this close thing? Do you remember, do you have thoughts, or can you remember the seeking that would have happened?
Yes, vaguely, but only after there was seeking years and years ago. Seeking. And I'm not going to say apparently to all this, but you get me. There was all this seeking
Yes.
going on. And then there was a giving up of the seeking because I was just had it with seeking. And then a few years later, the whole thing just dropped out. And there was a kind of, what's this? What's this? And then the apparent person came back again. And then the person was back into seeking because something had happened, but it thought it had happened to it. So we're trying to find it again, trying to find an absence of itself, as if an absence can know it an absence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is before I'd even heard of non-duality. Yeah, so seeking started again, and I kind of, did a bit of teacher shopping. Yeah.
It's funny the way you described that thingy, that what's this, like years ago, I was saying this to Rebecca, but that, I remember just suddenly something happening to me going, and I had a very, very fixed view of the world. And I can remember it's just everywhere I was going, it was kind of going, what the fuck is this? And I couldn't get my head around the fact that suddenly there was something happening and that there could be nothing, but there's something. And I just kept, and then when I wasn't pleasant. I wasn't, I wasn't going, this is wonderful. This was just a reality perspective suddenly shaken. It was
Yes.
that this is all appearing, life is appearing. Yeah. And now that just kind of passed away, we'll say, that sort of thing. But then, and that kind of did scare me a little bit. But then there was a bit of drugs, a bit of weed involved at the start. But I remember just days afterwards, just the idea that this rigid view of reality could, in a moment, be fucked with. It just had never occurred to me that, it could be altered so easily. And
yeah.
And then, like, I would have had lots of, I even talking about experiences, some bullshit, but well, it is like, because it's kind of, it's still, I remember spending time at a Tony Parsons weekend and coming back from it just really fucked off, like really, really fucked off from the whole thing. What was I going to this stupid talk for when, and what am I trying to get? I don't even know what I'm looking for. And then suddenly I was kind of, all that swarm of bullshit was just appearing and it was happening by itself, totally and utterly, like and then it was kind of, what the fuck was that all about? And then just kind of blah, 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 anyway, blah, 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 even total bullshit, right? All of what I'm saying is total bullshit. And still, you're here going, yeah, but I'm missing something. Like, even when I was looking at that thing that Kenneth sent me, I would have replied to him if I was being really honest, going, that makes me a little bit sad, even that you are so, because I can see that causeless joy. I can almost, And it's that sense of that causeless thing, that causeless joy that, that I seem to feel that I am missing.
Yeah, well, it thinks that somebody's feeling that joy, and therefore is getting some sort of satisfaction out of it, or feeling completion.
I have to say that that's not true, in the sense of, I did sense, because it's so natural, I did sense that personless joy. I could almost, I can touch that, feel that. I know it's not that there's a gain. I absolutely can sense, and it's almost like hearing about when I see it's almost hearing about an old lover, and you're kind of going, oh, they're doing really well without me. I know that sounds ridiculous, but is that, or that kind of a loss of something, and that's a reality. It's a reality for me, I suppose, would say. That
yes,
something is slightly missing.
Yes, that's how the me lives. It lives in loss. It lives in lack. It lives in separation. I want to be joined with the lover. I want to be joined back with the lover, and there I can find eternal rest. But the thing with the kind of the setup of the me is that it won't ever find it, because it is it. Ironically, the appearance of the me is the lover appearing as a me. So there's nothing separate to find non-separation. There's nothing separate. What is seen is that the sense of separation was never separate. It was just an appearance in the whole. Nothing was ever separate. That's why it's so hopeless. That's why it's such a hopeless search. Because you cannot find this. You cannot find what is happening, because there's nobody to find it. There's no separate person who can find non-separation.
That's the dilemma in the end, isn't it, really? You know what I mean? That's where there's no room at the inn. It's not that, but I don't know why that's come to my mind. But, it's, sorry. Like, that's where the kind of two worlds just say hello to each other. And, and it's... You know what I mean by that? That it is two worlds in a way. It is two perceptions of the world. It's
yes, it's two worlds, but the one energy,
yeah,
or the one aliveness, or whatever you want to call it. They're only apparently separate.
Do you know what I fucking hate? I hate that. So say you'd be a split second, there's multiple split second recognitions, and the moment I try to go after them, they're just gone, and I've no recollection of what that split second recollection is, or recognition is. It's kind of like that's so obvious there, and no, absolutely gone. Like that happens all the time. It's kind of like you're walking around and it's going, what the fuck was that like? But it's almost your just brain can't comprehend it at all. But even because it just evaporates like that, like.
Yeah, those moments are the absence of person.
Mm.
So there's nothing there to comprehend it. And the person comes back and goes, what was that? Now I want to comprehend it. But it can't comprehend its own absence.
Yeah.
In those split seconds, everything is revealed, but you can't, there's no comprehension of it.
Mm. When I was listening to your videos, you have a very no bullshit way about you. Do you know what I mean? It's interesting expression in a way. I mean, it is. There's an awful lot of laughter as well when you're saying it. You know, when you're talking about it, it's kind of interesting to watch. I kind of find that amusing.
Yeah. Because it's ironic, I think. It's kind of ironic.
Go on. What do you mean?
Well, people are looking for this when it's already here, appearing as a person.
Yeah, like I'm long since this idea of wanting to see purple chakras and fucking be wise or know something or have the be the king of the world of gurus and all that just be at peace and at one and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I had no interest in that sort of thing. The ordinariness of it is what I suppose, life enough as it is.
Yes.
That's clear. And it's also clear there's this just energy or movement wanting it to be other or seeking or whatever. That comes and goes.
Yes. I think what is looked for is life happening without the burden of seeking.
Yeah.
I think with this message that all these kind of gurus ideas, enlightenment ideas and chakras all seems to all just fall apart.
Yeah.
Because the obviousness is kind of recognized, but the sense of self keeps operating until it doesn't. It's like it becomes a hopeless search, and the whole operation of the me knows that, but instead now it's looking for this. I need to find this, which is where I find the irony kind of amusing, even though I know it's a bit painful for the person.
When it's already this, what you're saying.
It's already this. It's just like I'm trying to find this. People ask me questions like, well, do you see the table? What do you see when you see a table? I'm like, well, a table. As if there's something special in the table that they're not getting.
Yeah, that it's some booming, energetic.
Yeah, yeah. And
You
all
can
the
see
atoms
right through the
moving,
molecules of the
swirling.
table. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I can see the truth in the table.
Mm.
When the table is being missed by looking for the specialness in the table, the absolute obviousness that there is table is utterly missed by looking for the mystery in the table. Table's not enough. Has to be something special.
Yeah.
So that I feel that I have arrived in the special place. The whole thing's a total dream.
I used to think that, so I grew up a Catholic, and I used to think, you know, the way they had the virgin birth. Couldn't be, I remember just thinking one day going, it's not like birth is not spectacular enough. It had to be a virgin birth. You know, like birth,
Yeah.
everybody recognizes they really have no idea what's happening with it. It just is happening. And we don't
Yes.
really understand how it all comes together, really. I mean, we have a knowledge of it, but not really, we've no say or part in the whole thing apart from whatever. That's,
Yeah, yeah.
but then, you know, birth's just not enough. Well, let's make it a virgin birth. Then it'll be a special birth. Then it'll be
Yes.
really
Yes,
something.
yes. Because you can't deify somebody from normal copulation.
Yeah.
It's easy to deify somebody when it's just like, you know, beyond the realms of normal copulation.
Yeah, Jesus came from wherever, and that made
The
his birth
heavenly
special.
realm.
Heavenly realm, stardust. I used to make a joke about stardust coming down. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, it's just that everything, even that, which probably is, it's a magnificent thing in this life, probably that it is, but yet we still have to make it something other, or somehow add to it in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
I guess you could say it's like the deifying of everything. It's like I want to like the me wants to deify the table. There must be something from the heavenly realms in the table that I'm not seeing.
Mm.
No, it's just a table.
Yeah.
And that's like crap for the me. What do you mean it's just a table? There's nothing in it for me.
Yeah. See, I mean, I absolutely totally get. I remember from memory and from whatever, I totally get. I can remember even the sensation of tying a lace and going, "It's just tying a lace. It's not going anywhere." Just
Yeah.
so it's yeah. Sometimes knowing an awful lot of shit about something can be a pain in the hole too. Do you know what I mean? Knowing about non-duality is, or understanding it even, or you know, can see why. Like a friend of mine who had never talked about this sort of stuff, watched the film I did 0 and 1, and I was totally not expecting him to enjoy it or like it, but he couldn't get over it. But it's, you know, coming from a place of just no fucking interest whatsoever
Yeah.
in this whole thing, and then you can be then yes, you can't unhear it either though. Really, if you hear it in such a way, you can't. There's been times I'd say, oh, I actually really wish I'd never heard about non-duality.
Yeah, you can't unhear it. That seems to be the case. Yeah.
You can't delete it. Like there's no. It's like a virus. It's like a virus inside your system almost.
Yeah. But you can't know non-duality. There's nothing to know.
Yeah, there isn't even
No
a
one to know
non-duality.
it.
Yeah.
Trying to know it is the non-duality. Appearing is trying to know it. It is this. Appearing is trying to know it. That's why it's so pointless. But beautiful too, because it's just, that's how this is expressing.
Yeah. I really like the pointlessness of it. I love the pointlessness of it because it just seems to be endlessly pointless, if you know what I mean. And in that, it seems like a totally different realm almost. It's so wonderfully pointless.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so expansively pointless that
Yes, yes. It's not pointless in the way that the person thinks.
the brain would say, yeah, the mind would
Oh,
go,
pointless.
it's
It's a
pointless.
waste of time. No, it's just gloriously pointless.
Yeah.
Hopeless.
Mm. Yeah, hopelessness is a nice thing. There's something in hopelessness. There's almost, it can be a feeling of, well, I see the person can always make it back from hopelessness too, you know what I mean? But there is something in that rawness. Anyway. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, the rawness of what we're speaking of is like literally shouting. And that's what is sort of kind of seen when there is no person. It's just like, oh my God, it's just here. It's just this. It's just this. I can't comprehend it. I can't understand it. There's no one to comprehend it. It's just here and not here. Not here, right?
Yeah.
Not here as in the way the brain interpreted it, as set in time and space and packaged up into nice little neat boxes of, time and space. Reality.
Mm. Yeah. Kills all questions as well, really, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. It's a flatliner.
Yeah.
Mm.
Nowhere to go. Because there isn't anywhere to go. There's no one to go anywhere. And there's nowhere to go. There's nothing else here. There's nowhere there. There's nothing here in that regard.
Oh, jeez. I think we're talking an hour anyway. Oh, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed talking with you. It's really nice.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Are you doing any talks, or I saw something about, did I see something about Spain or something? If you wanted, I don't know. I mean, I know I'd put up information about your website, but
Okay, yeah, I'm doing a 2-day talk in November in London
yeah,
with Neil's thing. Don't know if you know Neil. He runs Seeking Nothing.
no,
He hosts speakers. So I'm doing a 2-day talk there, and I'm going to do a 5-6 day talk here in May.
okay.
I don't do that many talks because I kind of don't get around to it. So I do
Yeah.
everything mainly internet because
You prefer that, do you?
yeah, in a way, because But a friend is helping me out in May, so that makes it a bit easier for me.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm a bit lazy, really.
I think there is an organic thing about this, though, as well, isn't there? Really, it kind of seems to be that way. Anyway.
Yeah. It just is. It just is as it is. Yeah. So I'm doing the talk here in Spain because I can't be bothered to go anywhere else.
Spain is easy enough to get to.
Hi, if you like the conversation that I just had and you'd like more, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.
Frank,
Frank, man.